Welcome to the Whiskey Crossing. We are back with part 3 of Kyle's 2020 Whiskies of the Year. And we are moving over the pond into Europe, into the United Kingdom, the northern part of the United Kingdom, better known as Scotland. And we are talking Scotches of the Year. So, I'm going to change glassware here. We're going to go peated. No, we're not. We're going to. Why would I do that? Why would I start with peated of the year? We're going to start with unpeated Scotch of the year. And this is embarrassing. I don't have a bottle of it. I don't have a bottle of it. I actually have a bottle of it coming. And I have another bottle of it that I gave away. Okay, let me explain. And I do have a backup, but I have an unpeated Scotch of the Year. And the answer is, it is the Edredauer Abisco 12-year-old sherry cask finish. Let me say that again. It is Edredauer Distillery. It is the Abisco decanter. It is a beautiful, beautiful presentation. A clear glass bottle, narrow glass decanter topping, etching for the label. It is gorgeous. It is aged 12 years in sherry casks, and it is bottled at cask strength. The one that I tried was cask number 38, and it was the best unpeated Scotch that I drank all year. And I gave it away that day to my dad, who loves Edredauer Distillery. He's been to Edredauer Distillery several times. He calls it his favorite distillery. He was over here for his 61st birthday. I had just received it, and it made sense to give him the bottle, and he enjoyed that. He actually just showed me the other day on FaceTime. He has almost none of it left, which is just awesome. So me, him, and my sister got to drink it. It was so good. So good. I mean, it's a sherry whiskey. Yeah, it's only 12 years old, but they had some good casks going on. They had some good distillate, and this Scotch brought it. So if you have a chance to get the Edredauer Abisco sherry cask, they are single barrels, but there's enough of them out there. Get the sherry one. I'm sure the bourbon one is good as well, but I have another bottle coming. It should be here in like a week from Fine Drams. I'm really excited for that. I'm excited to get another bottle and experience it myself. I just had a few pours of it, and it was good enough to call my unpeated Scotch of the year. Since I don't have that bottle, I have a backup, unpeated Scotch of the year. And as I look around, I don't know that this bottle really deserves it, but I'm just going to mention it because I really enjoyed it. This is the Aaron 18. First of all, let me just commend Aaron Distillery on its presentation and labeling improvement. This was one of the ugliest distillery labels that you can ever imagine up until this past year. And they changed it, and they made it really unique and really kind of just plain and simple, and I think gorgeous as a result. So this is the 18-year-old. I think the 18-year-old is nicer looking than the 21-year-old. By the way, this is a single malt Scotch, bottled at 46%, and that's pretty much all you know about it. It's non-chill filtered, natural color, which is great for a Scotch. Where did I hear about this bottle? I heard about this bottle, I think, from Ralphie, who commended it for its, what do they call it? The pure bottle? No. The integrity bottling. 18 years old, age statement, 46%, non-chill filtered, no color added, integrity bottle. Right here for the Aaron 18. Thank you, Ralphie. This is a delicious bourbon, and it is not a bourbon. This is a delicious Scotch. Bourbon on the mind. I don't know why. It's a sherry bomb, I guess. It's not a sherry bomb. It's a really good Scotch. It's mature. It's actually kind of unique. It's got that Oloroso sherry, but it's also got the older leathers, and you know what this reminds me of is the Balvenie 17-year-old Doublewood, which I have, but it's good. The Edgered crushes it. So if I had the Edgered, I would show you that. But this was my honorable mention, so if you get a chance, give this one a try. It's pretty good. This is my bottles of the year, though, so Edgered is still the winner. Okay. We're going to go to my peated Scotch of the year. Now, just if you haven't noticed, I do kind of prefer peat. I sort of have, so I have every Isla distillery accounted for. That would be, let's prove that to you. We got Kalila, Lagavulin, Ardbeg. There's a Bowmore in the back. Lafroig. Where's the rest? That was 3. Bruichladdich. We got some Black Art and some Octomore, and I got a bunch more in the back. We got Bunnahabhain, 18. We got, that's most of them. Kilchoman up here. And am I missing anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's all of them. So I have all 8. Okay. Sorry for that little tangent. This is my peated Scotch of the year, and it's from none of those distilleries. It's not an Isla. And it's really almost cheating to be peated because it's also sherried. It's a heavily sherried bottle. Sorry, I just had to finish the Aaron 18. Here's my peated Scotch of the year. Springbank, Campbelltown. I love Isla, but I also have all the Campbelltowns. There's only 3 of them, but I have bottlings from all of the Campbelltowns and all of the brands of Campbelltown. So not just the distilleries, Springbank, Glengoyle, and Glen Scotia, but I also have all the brands of Springbank, which is Springbank, Hazelburn, and Longrow. This is the Springbank 15. This is not a new bottling, but it's new for me. I just got this in 2020, and I like the Springbank 10. It's good. I like the other brands better. I like the Long Row. I have the Long Row 18 and the Long Row Red. And the Hazelburn 13, which is the non-peated triple distilled version. So this is the Springbank 15. This is more sherry focused than the Springbank 10. This is at 46%. It is a core bottling of Springbank, so they release it regularly. It's actually fairly affordable overseas. This was actually only about 65 pounds. So I bought this at like peak exchange rate. I think I probably paid like under $70 for this, which is kind of insane because I think at my local liquor store this goes for like $160. So I'm not paying $160 for this, but next time I buy from the place that I paid under $70, the exchange rate's now quite a bit worse. It's probably closer to $80. I'm gonna get another bottle at $80 for sure. This is a phenomenal Scotch. Campbelltown is kind of my sweet spot. I love the peat, but I love the maritime, the funk, the complexity. Springbank especially just does beautiful bottlings with the cask selection, and this one is no exception. I mean, you get right off the bat, you get that sea salt brine, the dark red fruits, and then it ends on the nose with the smoke, with the peat, with the... It's an ashy peat, but it's not Isla. But it's ashy. I mean, this one again kind of has it all. And I said that about the Four Roses, and this one could be my Scotch of the year. I would have no problem calling this my Scotch of the year. It's that good. So, you know, what do you pay for it? Do I pay $160? I don't know. I don't know if I pay $160 for this. Only because I know where it's accessible. I mean, that is pretty close to the perfect Scotch for me. First of all, it's peated, and anything peated, if you understand, it's not about being a Lafroig, okay? It's not about tasting like Band-Aids and tasting like an ashtray. It's about adding this level of depth to supplement the other flavors, to complement the other flavors, to add complexity, to add richness and intrigue. It's not so much about being only the peat and the smoke. This bottle has it all. It's an 85% sherry cask finish. Sherry cask matured. Sorry, not finished. So it's got the fruits. It's 15 years old, so it's got the complexity and the richness. It is properly aged. I haven't had the 18 Springbank or the 21. but I've had the longer 018. I mean, this one, you're not losing anything from a maturity standpoint. Sure, you can pay more, you can get something older, but if you can get this bottle at 65 pounds at $80, I mean, you can't beat it. I can't imagine beating this bottle at $80. I would compare this to something like the Ardbeg Ugadal, which is also sherry cask finished. I'm going to pull that over as a quick comparison, because this bottle is probably at least somewhat comparable to that. The Ugadal is going to be higher proof and more peaty. But they have their similarities. And I think, you know what it is? There's so few bottles that combine the peat and the sherry at a level that just works. And there's one more bottle that I have, and it's another Edredauer, actually, after my unpeated of the year. It's right here. It's the Balakin. This is the Balakin 15-year-old. And this thing is much more ashier and peatier than the Springbank is. The Springbank's got the funk, it's got the peat, it's got the sherry. It's really, 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 really good. Peated Scotch of the year, Springbank 15. I'm not going to bring the Ugadal over. The Ugadal is really good, but it's not really that comparable. It's way, way peatier. The sherry is secondary in that it just cuts the peat a little bit, which is really, really nice. If you don't have an Ardbeg Ugadal, you should get one, because they are phenomenal bottles, not even close to eligible for this list. I've almost finished that bottle. That bottle was one of the first scotches I ever bought back in like mid-2018, and I opened it right away. So not eligible today, but that's a great bottle. Please check it out if you haven't already. About the same price as the Springbank online, but like half the price if you buy it in person, at least around me. So Ardbeg Ugadal is a great bottle if you haven't tried it yet. But I'm looking at my list, and I believe we are down to the final result, which is Scotch of the Year. And I have an answer for that, but I'm going to try to pull over the World Whiskey of the Year before we go there. So hold on 1 second. All right, I don't really have a World Whiskey of the Year. I was looking at my Irish whiskeys. None of them are really eligible. I don't think I really opened any in 2020 that I really enjoyed. They're over here. I mean, I finished a Redbreast 12 cask strength in 2020. That bottle is great. I finished a Green Spot either in 2020 or 2019. That bottle is great. I got the Chateau Montelena to be a successor for that. The only real eligible bottle that I'm going to mention for World Whiskey is this Cavalon Concertmaster Port Finish. And this bottle, in addition to being really cool looking, it's got these ridges, if you like ridges. But this is a really good bottle. I mean, this is out there. It's affordable. It's port finished, so it's going to give you that deep, dark red fruits. Ooh, beautiful nose. But it's only 43%. No age statement. I'm sure it's super young. I mean, it's Taiwan, so age statements don't matter to me that much, but I love the Texas whiskey that says it's like 28 months. 28 months, okay. You're judging on an entirely different scale. Like, if this concertmaster, let's say this is 3 years, okay? You know what? Say 36 months. Say 36 months matured. Why not? What do you have to hide? People are going to assume the worst. This is a really good whiskey. It's a good whiskey. I didn't have a World Whiskey of the Year, but I guess that's the best one that I've had this year. Cavalon Concertmaster Port, finished edition, is my World Whiskey of the Year. Okay. Final bottle. I'm probably coming up at an hour total, which is ridiculous. I'm sorry if you watched all of this. But I am about to look at my Scotch of the Year, which is arguably my Whiskey of the Year, although I think the Bourbon of the Year might take it this time. I'm going to go with my Scotch of the Year. It's back here. I'm going to pull it out. This is my Scotch of the Year. And this is not a well-known bottle. It's not a common available bottle, but it's not hard to find. It's out there. And there's probably a bunch of bottles I like better than this one overall. But for 2020, for what I tried, this is it. And I actually just bought another very similar bottle from the same brand. So we're going to see if they can follow this one up. I'm going to say again, this is based on my palate. What did I enjoy the most that I tasted this year, which really wasn't a ton, but enough, I think, to qualify me for this list. So, in case you can't read, this is or can't pronounce Gaelic words, which is totally fair. This is the Lechaig 2019 19-year-old Marsala cask finish. Okay, let's do that again. And I actually screwed that up. This is the Lechaig 19-year-old Marsala cask finish. It is not from 2019. In fact, I think it's from like 2016. Does it say? I don't think it says. It doesn't say. I got it in 2019. No, I got it in 2020. Let's pour this out. This is my Scotch of the Year. If you don't know, Lechaig, spelled Ledaig, is the peated version of Tobermory Distillery on the Isle of Mull, Scotland. It is an island distillery. This is the second brand of that island distillery, and it's one of those that kind of flies under the radar. It competes with Islay, it competes with Campbelltown, it competes with other island distilleries like Talisker. This bottle, first of all, Tobermory itself, I have just the 10-year-old over here. It's a very different whiskey. It's green apple and pear and 10 years old and young, flavored. This is none of that. I don't want to put them in the same category so much. This competes with older Islas. I was going to say older Ardbegs, older Islas, older Campbelltowns, and older peated whiskies across Scotland. And frankly, it holds its own. And in 2020, for me, it stood above the rest. And why did it do that? A few reasons. Its complexity, its maturity, its proof. It's bottled at 51%, so it's 102 proof. It's a really, really nice proof. And you get an older Scotch, and that's what you're getting. And I think the older Scotches, to a certain extent, because they're going to lower proof as they go, unlike most bourbons. So a Scotch is going to lower its alcohol rate as it ages. And this is 19 years old, which seems to be a pretty good kind of happy medium. I love the 18 to 21 age format. I think 25 and up, it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, you can just drink this in on the nose. It is, first of all, it's so much peatier than the Springbank 15. So the Springbank 15, sure, it was my peated whiskey of the year, but this is way peatier. Oh, to the best extent possible. This whiskey is so well balanced between the peat, the dark fruit, the maturity, the barrels, the spice, the fruitiness. Did I say fruitiness? It's not that fruity. It's pretty fruity. Let's drink it. It's rich. Ooh, it's rich. It's complex. It's peaty. It's fruity. It's ashy. Oh. To me, I could drink this every day. I can't think of a reason I wouldn't want to drink this. It's just that good. And I know you would love it too if you're watching this video. So, Lechaig 19-year-old Marsala cask finish is my Scotch of the year and my whiskey of the year with the Four Roses 2019 limited edition small batch. Those are my whiskeys of the year. Welcome. Thank you for coming to the Whiskey Crossing. Sorry it's been a few drinks tonight. Happy end of 2020. I hope your year wasn't that bad in retrospect. We all had our struggles. This was a different year for everybody. But I hope things are going in the right direction. And I think that we will come out of the other side more appreciative of what matters and potentially a little more flexible with how things go in this world and the way that we treat each other. So all I can ask is that you be a part of that. You do your best not to give people a hard time and really to just be a good member of society, somebody that does their part and also enjoys their life. Both are important. We're better when we work together. That's all I can say. So, goodbye 2020. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. But you gave us some good whiskeys regardless, and I appreciate that. So, cheers. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Thanks for stopping by the Whiskey Crossing. This is Kyle, and I will see you more next year. Peace.